Hello and welcome to Football in 2069. 50 years into our future this time. We've bumped it up another 25 years and we'll see how the football landscape has changed in those 25 years since the 2044 videos I made last week. Now, there were a couple of surprises in those, so if you've not watched them yet, I do suggest you watch both them and the 10-year one before that. Links to the 25 years will be below. And also, if you haven't seen those 10-year ones, go check those out on the channel as well. So, I start you off on the screen because it is typically the least spoilerific, and kind of is this time around as well. So, I'm going to quickly race through all of the seasons. I'm going to briefly probably just going to see the previous season. No, we're not. I mean, a little bit of a spoiler there, if you catch it quickly enough. But 2044 was the last time we picked off, so that's where we left things off with Southampton in the pole position. Southampton at this point, if like I say, if you've not watched the 25-year save, watch that right now. But Southampton, the biggest team in the world right now, for some reason. So they've managed to climb their way to the top of the rankings, full stop, in general, worldwide. So Southampton win that one. Southampton win the following year. This is the first season we've not seen yet. No real surprises in terms of promotions just yet. Teams that are sort of in the Championship keep popping up and going back down. Newcastle in 6th, and this is something we've seen as well. The top 6 is now sort of become Southampton through to Newcastle, with Tottenham and Arsenal just behind. However, something has happened here. Tottenham way off here. Norwich have returned, I've just noticed that, and being relegated, but the top 6 has sort of become a top 7 again with Chelsea. Tottenham down in 12th, however. Southampton 3 years in a row now. Man City returned to the top. Newcastle slipping right off this time. Man United take over. Southampton back in 2nd this time rather, but Bournemouth up to 6th. Where have they come from? They were sort of 8th a couple of seasons ago, but Bournemouth have, and Sheffield United make an appearance in the top Premier League briefly. Man United win again. Newcastle back up to 6th. Man United win again. Newcastle down in 11th this time. They've slipped right off again, but they're back up to 7th. That top 8 is sort of returned to a top 8 again. Arsenal, however, 99 points. I'm not really paying attention to if there's been any unbeaten seasons. I don't think there has. Liverpool take over. That top 6, that's sort of, it's become a much more competitive top 8. Those lot keep rotating around quite dramatically. Southampton, though, a little bit way off actually now. Southampton have dropped off quite dramatically now. Newcastle have failed rather badly again here. Hello, this is the first time we've seen a surprise promotion. I've just spotted them right at the very bottom. But Man United, 92 points at the top here. 6 games lost. Top 8 sort of remains a top 8, but this lot here have not. Southampton have dropped right off a little bit. They do challenge for the titles. However, this is the first time we've seen someone outside of the Championship, although they have been in the Championship, but I think they're in League 2 at the League 1 at the moment, or League 2. I'm not sure where they are in 2019. But Plymouth have been promoted to the Premier League at some point. Well, this point, and relegated. Sheffield United, though, make an appearance again. They keep sort of knocking on that door. Top 8 sort of remains the same, although Bournemouth have just nicked in there this time. Chelsea winning this season. Man United. Plymouth back again, though. Slightly better this time. Man United. Chelsea this time. Norwich promoted, and Everton relegated for the 2nd time in this save. But Newcastle and Tottenham down in 12th and 13th. So what has happened here? Middlesbrough up to 9th. Reading in the Premier League once more. Bournemouth, from out of nowhere, have been relegated. Man United down in 7th. West Ham up to 4th. Maybe this is the start of something new. But Chelsea winning that season. Chelsea winning this season. Well, Wolves up to 4th. West Ham in 6th. Man City down in 8th. Newcastle 9th. Tottenham down in 12th. Things aren't. Plymouth back again. They keep getting promoted and relegated. Everton back and relegated, as is Sheffield United. Bournemouth are back, though, as well. Liverpool winning this season. It's almost become a top 10 now. Down to Newcastle. Wolves and West Ham in sort of mixing it up with the big boys. And same top 10, really. Chelsea winning this one. Reading back again. Although Arsenal are 12th, someone has actually come into that top 10. Watford are new in that top 10. Plymouth have been promoted again and stayed up. 35 points. They've stayed up. Everton are back again. Everton are now yo-yoing. Bournemouth and Swansea down. Liverpool win this season. Man United win the next one. Plymouth get relegated, however, this season. Newcastle down in 14. So that early success they were having in the Europe sort of waned a little bit. Southampton still near the top, but not at the top. West Ham sticking around, however. Wolves have somewhat slipped off. Watford are now slipped off again a little bit. Newcastle up to 10th. Not really making it count. West Ham are now in that occupying that sort of Newcastle role from earlier in this simulation, I should say. Norwich. Newcastle way down this time. Plymouth, however, I've just noticed Plymouth are back and 12th this time. Using that Premier League money, building a squad in the Championship, continually returning to the Premier League, getting those payments, and building a squad good enough to get 12th this time. Man United winning the 2064-65 season and the following season, although Plymouth get immediately relegated again. Burnley are back though, and another team from lower down the leagues has appeared. Notts County in the Premier League. Liverpool in 12th though. Leeds have stuck around for a while. Nice to see Leeds sticking around a while. Burnley relegated, Sheffield United up and relegated, Everton up and relegated again. But no returnees this time. Plymouth back and relegated. Bournemouth relegated again. Crystal Palace, I think, have returned here. But Man United, I didn't actually see who won the previous one. Man United again. Man United. Southampton back in that second position. Newcastle back to mid-table, though, which is a bit saddening for myself to see. 9th. Burnley, Cardiff, Leeds. Leeds finally relegated. I just jinxed them. I know. Although this has already been simulated. I just mentioned how Leeds were stuck around for ages. And then they've been relegated. Sheffield United up and survived. Notts County up and survived. So, impressive work from Notts County. And then we see this current season where Plymouth are back in the Premier League again. And Notts County are there also. So, very interesting. We've got a couple of stories to maybe look into in the next part here. But we will just have a quick look at that past winner situation to see how that was overall. 2044 was where we left things off. So a couple of Southampton wins. City United is a lot of United, actually, I've just noticed. Southampton dropped off for the most part. And then they sort of come back a little bit. But Man United for the most part. A couple of Arsenals in there. A fair few Chelseas and a couple of Liverpools. Man City, however, only one win. No, Man City have not done well in general. From that year there, 25-26, they have won once here. And that is it. So Man City really sort of dropping off a little bit in terms of thereabouts for the most part for a few seasons. Very much still a European competition team, but not really winning a lot. So we'll go over to France first of all, because that's usually the least surprising. And I've just seen PSG have won it a lot in the last 24. We left off here in 2044, although Grenoble have come from somewhere and taken over a little bit. Lyon here and Nimes have also come from nowhere seemingly and taken a spot here. I'm actually going to look at these stages for the last season or two and see how this is going now. So Grenoble, where are the teams typically at the top? Monaco in 14th. Can't say for certain if this is how things are going all the time. Bordeaux, I'm not sure the teams are normally at the top. Marseille here, I can see that. Lille there. FCFM have come up, I think. I think they start in League 2 for them. I feel like there's someone missing. I feel like there's a big team missing here, and I can't quite place it right now. But Lyon and Nice and PSG at the top, with Nimes and Grenoble, and Angers have stuck around as well. So Grenoble and Nimes are someone to look into for next time around as well. Or if I get enough time, I'll do it in this one first of all. But we'll move over to Spain, where last we saw Tenerife were one of the two surprise new additions to the top of the tables. As to think about a little bit now, they are still there. Real Hispalis have come up and stuck. Well, I don't know if they've stuck. I don't know if this is a surprise or not. Villarreal down in 16th, though. I can see that there from the previous season. So we'll look at the past winners. And we can see from the 2044 onwards where Tenerife were there or thereabouts, joined that top four. They've been there or thereabouts all the way up to 2054, 55, where they start dominating, actually. Tenerife become the dominating force in Spanish football. Real Madrid consistent seconds, and Barcelona consistent thirds, pretty much, with Valencia in there. So Real Hispanos are pretty much a surprise third here at this point by the looks of things. They might have been there or thereabouts. I'm not going to go all the way through that. But Tenerife become a dominating force in football. So we'll have a look and see if they've won any European competitions in the meantime as we go over to Serie A. I'm sort of doing this clockwise through the nations, I now realise. But they have finished their season, so I will go on the past winners for this one. Now, it was a lot of... Juventus had a bit of dominance here in the... what would have been towards the end of the 10-year save. But 2044 was a lot of back and forth between the Milans, basically. So we left off here with Inter, and then there's a bit more back and forth between the Milans, with Roma joining the party. Juventus come back for a while. And then we see Genoa and Atalanta, actually, in third in that season. That's pretty... Oh, no, different seasons. But Atalanta third in that one. Genoa second, third. Genoa third. Milans come back. Roma come back. And then Genoa actually win a Serie A. So if you're a supporter of Genoa, good news. You only have to wait 48 years. You have to wait 48 years for that. But you're there or thereabouts for the most part, from year 60 onwards. Oh no, third here, 56 onwards. So Genoa win a league in Serie A. And then over to the Bundesliga, where Bayern have won it recently. But we'll see if that is domination. Kind of. We left off with Hertha winning. Schalke come in. Gladbach, it's actually Schalke for the most part here. And then Dortmund have sort of returned slightly. Dortmund had slipped off a little bit. But Stuttgart get a Bundesliga. And then Bayern are back. Dear God. Bayern are back. Wolfsburg in the third and the second here. So... a little bit of something to pay attention to there, but I want to have a look at the Champions League now. So that's the Champions Cup. Holders are Man United. So they've done the double at the very least. I will have a look at the FA Cup as well, beating Bayern in the final. Past winners. So let's have a look. So we can see Tenerife did have won it 4 times, in fact, so far. We left off here in 2044 where Southampton had won it. They followed it up with a second place to PSG. Chelsea Liverpool final, all English. We've seen England do very, very well in this so far. Either first or second or all English finals, like you see here, Chelsea Southampton. But Man United 3 on the bounce here. After another Southampton win, this is after they start winning, because they won these 3 seasons of the Premier League, and then they won the Champions League the following season again. And then they sort of there or thereabouts, but Man United 3 in a row. Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United twice. Arsenal win a Premier League. Arsenal beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League final, finally getting their revenge 40 years in the future, pretty much. Man City win against PSG, and this is where Tenerife turn up. Tenerife beat Barcelona, Tenerife beat Chelsea, Chelsea beat Southampton, PSG against Man United, Tenerife beat Man United, PSG then beat Tenerife. PSG again, Man United beat PSG. Are there a lot in this sort of section here. Chelsea, Man City beat Chelsea, reversal. And then Tenerife beat Bayern Munich. Leipzig beat Southampton in England. So Leipzig win the Champions League, and then Man United beat Bayern there. So we'll have a look at the Euro Cup, as it is known here. But this is obviously the Euro League, European League. Watford have won this most recently. I'm not even sure how they got in it. I can't remember how they did the previous season. But run-up is Hispalis, so maybe they are there or thereabouts for most seasons. Bayern, Wolfsburg, Southampton won this a fair bit more. Dortmund have returned to this. City there as well. Tottenham won this at one point. West Ham have won this. Arsenal, Newcastle won this. Newcastle just won this before. 2034 is where we left this off. So Newcastle just won that twice before, actually. They win it a third time. Just after that, Chelsea, Lyon, PSG win this. Chelsea again. Chelsea doing quite well in Europe in general, actually. City, United, Chelsea, Arsenal won this as well. Is this the season before they won it in, hang on, 2056-57? When did they win it in here? 2054. So actually, they won it the 2 years before. I was wondering if that was the season they got into the Champions League again, because I know they've been sort of just outside of the top four pretty much in the league, but not a lot of surprise. There's sort of teams you've seen around, except for Watford here. And I can't remember where they finished the previous season on that one, but we'll go to the FA Cup. And we'll have a look at those. 2044, see if there's any surprises in store for this. Not so far. These are all top 6, 7 teams. Pretty much not even Tottenham, who had kind of dropped off a little bit there. I do spy a Notts County second here and a Leicester second. Bear in mind, I think they're Championship. Or they're not in the Premier League. But there is a Notts County second here to Chelsea. Man City, Palace win it. And I'm not sure what, 26-27. I have switched back to the normal now, by the way. Profile 26-7. That's 2 years ago. They would have been in the Premier League. They've actually been in the Premier League for ages. I think I may have misremembered that, but that would have been that season there where they finished 7th as well. They would have got European football off the back of that, regardless. So 7th place, Crystal Palace finished there. Didn't even see that as I was going through, and then yeah, that's fine. And then just have a quick look at the Carabao Cup. I need to remember it's not called League Cup in this. Carabao Cup. Past winners. 2044, where we left things off with Southampton winning that as well. What would have been a treble, I think, because they won the Champions League in that season as well. Top 7 teams. I don't think Watford were there at that point, but Bournemouth twice in a row, a team that were doing reasonably well at that point, and then got randomly relegated around here-ish. West Ham, sort of as they kind of reappeared. Brighton is a bit of a surprise here, and Middlesbrough is a slight surprise. They have been around for quite a while in the Premier League now. They've actually been Premier League the entirety of this 25-year save, Middlesbrough. So we've had a Tyneside derby for quite a while. Is it Tyneside? This Tyne and Weir derby. I always forget which one's which now. I really should. Being a sport of Newcastle, remember which one's which. But a northeast derby, basically. Apologies, I know I'm going to get shouted at for that now. But Brighton at that point would have been Premier League. Oh, actually, they're actually near the top at this point. I did not notice Brighton getting 5th 3 seasons in a row there. This was the season they won it, though, I think. That one there. I didn't notice they got European football. I thought it was a Aubameyang there for a second. I thought, oh, what's happened there? We've had a glitch. But Carabao Cup, those there. So we'll have a look at the European first and then the World Cup, and then we'll tie this off. If there's anything you want to look at more in detail, we are going to look at those stories for Notts County, Plymouth, Grenoble. In there, top of the German wasn't really any surprise at Genoa. We'll have a look at those. We'll have a look at those teams in a little bit more detail, as well as maybe some manage. We're kind of at that point now where the manager ins and outs don't really make any sense anyway. So to look at, so we've got a little bit more room to look at the stories rather than random things, because all the managers that are pretty much playing, all the players playing now will have retired from manager as well, pretty much. They'll be the very top of the age range right now. You'd be looking at basically the youth prospects. So I will have a look at. Where are we now? European Football Championship, where we see the holders are England, finally. 3-0 against Germany. That's a win to be proud of. So we can see from where we left off in 2044 with a double Spain. We have Portugal, Spain, Germany, England, Portugal, Germany. There's an Austria second in that. And a Switzerland second to Spain where we left things off. But in Italy, we beat Belgium. And in Holland/Belgium, we beat Germany. So excellent. I am going to have a quick look at those because that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Stages, final 3. Oh no, we'll go second round 3. So in order to get there, we need to beat Scotland, who actually Scotland were a story from last time round. They shot up the rankings. Croatia, Ukraine, and Germany in that final. And then we'll have a look at the 2061 as well. Stages, second round. And then tree that up again for us. England, I can't even see England. This one, Greece, France, extra time needed. Holland, and then Belgium on penalties. Yeah, right. Although we have got better penalties, and this is 2060. So, obviously the next one is 2072. That's why it says that at the top. It's another World Cup where things have been a little surprising, actually. Although I can see the holders are Brazil. Past winners. So we left things off in 2044 with France in 2042, immediately followed by an England win. Italy, the runners-up, with Argentina in third. That's in South Korea. We returned to South Korea for that particular World Cup. We returned to Brazil for the following, and we returned to Russia for the 2054. England hosts the 2066 one, where the winners are American sides. I thought they're not supposed to do good in Europe. China hosted World Cup at one point, and the USA host that one there. So obviously they do their triple host here, but they get their own one there. But I'll have a look at that one. I keep doing that. We'll have a look at 2046, so we've only got to wait 27 years? 27 years for World Cup victory. So stages. Second round. Tree that please for me. So England beat Italy, Argentina, France, and Switzerland to get through there, and then the big Guinea-Bissau here because of the weird system that we have now going on for this. But any surprise teams in the round of 16 at all? Saudi Arabia. It's hard to tell who surprise teams are in this version because obviously there's so many teams in the second round now because of the way it's set up. But Mali get through to what would be the round of 16, I think. So basically there's an extra knockout round now, which is annoying to really pay attention. So really this is the round of 16 that we know and love. But Mali get through there, Paraguay get through to that one, but nothing real surprising there. Guinea-Bissau got through the groups. Any weird second or third places? Not really, actually. I mean, there are not really that many surprises in the second and third for this lot. I mean, we saw this one here where Romania were third, or was that a Euros? I think it might have been Euros. No, this one here, Denmark and Romania, where Romania ended up third. Not really any surprises in this one. So I think we just have enough time to actually just look at World in general. It doesn't work like that, does it? You just have to do it this way. We have just enough time to look at World in general for this one. We can see that Man United have taken back that top spot. Southampton have vanished from the top of those rankings. PSG, Tenerife in third, however. The top team in Spain now, Tenerife. Barcelona, Madrid, making that a sort of a very dominant top three there. Man City are second in the major clubs list there. Chelsea third, Lyon. Nimes actually there. So Nimes actually there or thereabouts. Top three in third best team in France right now. What's really noticeable here is there's not a single Italian team in this scrolly list we have right here. Wolfsburg actually fourth best German. Fifth best German. Leipzig are actually the best German team despite the Bayern dominance. That's weird. Leipzig are most reputable German team despite the Bayern dominance. Southampton here. Nice there. Where's Grenoble? Grenoble down here in 4.5 star. Brighton are 4.5 star as well. Brighton are more reputable than Tottenham now. Newcastle have stepped off a bit. I can see them just here underneath Monaco, Marseille, and Watford. Yeah, I mean, FCFM are actually above Grenoble as well. So, a little bit surprised there. Benfica, Porto just sneaking in here. The Portuguese team. Actually, where is the first Italian side? What has happened to Italian football? I am so confused right now. Serie A, here we are. Milan. This isn't in reputation rating. No, this is in current reputation rating. Serie A, first Serie A is Milan, who have slipped down. They're 4.5 stars still. I mean, they are 4.5 stars, but they are here. Behind teams like Ajax, Dortmund, Middlesbrough and Crystal Palace are more reputable teams in the entirety of Italy. Celtic, Wolves, Newcastle as well. I mean, what has happened to Italian football? Roma as well just sneaked onto the bottom of this list, but Real San Sebastian are more reputable than the second most reputable team in Italy. EA Ginkamp as well. There, I see that just sort of behind Milan. Bayer Leverkusen have dropped off quite a bit as well, to be fair. But Major nations: Spain, England, France, Brazil, Argentina. Where is Italy on this list? 13th. Morocco are the 13th best team in the world right now. Ivory Coast 14th. Scotland have dropped off this, unfortunately, but what on earth has happened to? I need to go to the. I need to have a look at leagues right now. What? Syria is still 5th, despite the fact that Portuguese teams are more reputable. Well, the top two. I suppose the top two are more. I suppose on average, they probably do still average higher than the Portuguese league, but they are definitely a 5th by a fair margin. They are only 4 stars opposed to the 4.5 above all of them there. But wow, that's a bit of it. And we can see here as well from last time out in the 25 years, the Scottish League was actually 7th. They were actually behind here in where the Eredivisie is now, but they have dropped off a little bit. Scottish football has dropped off a little bit by the looks of things in these 25 years, unfortunately. But that will do us for part 1 of this. I will go into part 2 for this, look into those stories like Plymouth, Notts County, Genoa, Grenoble, Nimes as well. I will have a look to see whether FCFSM are a top tier league in the first place. We'll have a look at those as well. Currently, I'll try and see if I can work out what's happened to Italian football, but I don't think we saw them at the top of any of the win. I don't think we saw them win any European football. Now I think of it. Well, that's probably part of the problem. They're clearly not doing well in Europe for some reason. But that will do us for now. Thank you for watching. I've been Amazing G. You've been amazing too. Ta-ra.